Hello everyone, I'm Alap and let me just share my screen right away. Welcome to the topic in Career Week of navigating the career progression and the little subtitle embracing clarity amidst uncertainty. So I know I'm throwing big words, but it will all get cleared when we get to the end of it. So basically, I have done a couple of presentations in Avenue Code. They are always 1 hour, and this time it's 30 minutes. So it's a challenge for me to wrap everything up in 30 minutes because I like to talk a lot. So let's start with a bit of my introduction. So this is me with my beautiful family. As I said, Alap Patel, and I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I'm originally from India, and I moved here in 2014, almost 10 years. And I started working in Avenue Code in 2022, almost 2 years. And in my free time, I like to watch YouTube videos on the current affairs, geopolitics, Indian culture. So that's what I like in my free time. And like lot of Indians, I like to watch cricket and I am foodie as well. About my professional experience, I have around 11 plus years of experience in IT with all these different roles you see. So that's my experience, which you will know more about in my talk. So in all the presentations I do, what I do is try to do my personal marketing, which is the right next slide. So whatever roles you saw, how I transitions from the career, I have written a small blog post about it in Avenue Code. So wherever I go, I just do this personal marketing to say that I have a blog in snippets. Go and check it out. I published it on August 2nd, 2023. So yeah, another opportunity for me to market myself. So enough about me. Let's go to the introduction of our topic. So I have divided that into three main points. First, in the career, lack of clarity you may have in any stage, in the beginning, in the middle, even if you are too experienced. Then what helps in this situation is lack of importance of the self-development as well as the role of mentorship around you. And that would be my theme for today. And I also always like to put a small bonus point at the end. So we'll see when we see it. Okay. And just a small disclaimer, whatever presentation I'll do mostly from my experience, which I've had in the decade long career. So of course, things might be different for you. The time frame might be different, but yeah, just a small disclaimer. But I'm pretty sure that whatever themes I'm talking about, you might or you will experience it in some way in your career in any stage. So let's begin with the first topic, lack of clarity in the career. So I talk about my journey from start till the end, right? So when you start your career, you might have some uncertainty about your career, or you may not, but it's possible that you may have it. So it might be a reason of whether you have a right role or whether you are in the right company or whether you are with the right product or not. So this kind of questions may affect that certainty in your career when you start it. So as I said, I'll talk from my experience, right? So when I started my career, I had experienced all this, that I had a bit of uncertainty with all this information. Like, is the role right? Is the company right? Is the product right? So initially, my experience was a manual QA for 3 years, and that too with a biggest MNCs in India. But now that I look back, I feel that even though that was a really big company, even though manual QA looks like a good position, I felt that whatever experience I had from that, it did not have that much of impact on what I did later. So that's why when I look back right now, from right now till like 10, 11 years back, I feel that I had that uncertainty when I started my career. So that was kind of my mind frame at that time. That's what I think right now. So what's that initial ambiguity? So ambiguity means the uncertainty itself. So feeling uncertain about your career paths and career goals and why that can happen. So one of the reason I feel is, let me put everything out here. So one of the reason I feel is where I come from or whatever my culture is back in India. When we finish our college and when we transition to professional world, what we look for is a job. Basically, you shouldn't sit idle because there are a lot of people around you who are in your class, who are in different class, who are in your who live with you, like who are in your society, right? They all start working. So your mindset is you just need to start working. Doesn't matter what's your ambition or doesn't matter what's your skill or what you know, what you don't know, where what are your strengths. You just want to get into the market. So when you transition from college to professional world, you just want to get a job. So that's the first thing. And then you go into your job and then you realize that, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is my role. Maybe it's QA. Oh, now I know it. So that's how you discover things when you actually go there. So this is like the ideal stage, that when you transition from college to professional world, you don't have any idea what you are doing, what is your ideal career path, and what factors which influence this initial job selection is available opportunities. Whatever you have, you take it. You at that time you do not have any choice, that okay, I have three companies with me, I'll go with the company which is maybe really good company, MNC company, like I mentioned in the previous slide. I don't know which company to join, which role to join. So those kind of things, when you are not that much of self-aware, it can happen. And this sounds really pessimistic, right? That hey, this can happen in your career, but what helps in all this situation is your self development, because eventually you get a job and you look at the people around you, what they are doing. So what you start doing is you first start exploring roles, exploring responsibilities of people around you, right? So for my experience, I just went for a job in a big company because everyone was getting, some people were not getting, some were getting. My good friends got it, I did not. So then I got it, so I was really happy. I went into the company and then I realized that okay, this is QA, but the friends who came with me, they seem to be developer. Of course, QA talks with developer, talks with the manager. So what they do, they have roles, they have some responsibilities. Some are managerial, some manage two, three developers under them. So then you explore these roles, then you realize that okay, what are their skills? They are working on .NET. Okay, that is .NET. Okay, C Sharp. Okay, Microsoft Suites. Okay, so apart from QA, you start discovering all this and you see what they are doing, how they are managing their career, what is their day to day activity along with you. Like, what are the things which they are doing which are not affected to me? For example, we were QAs. So we would leave at 6 in the evening, let's say. But some of our friends will stay there because they had a deployment in the evening and they had to do some work when the deployment happens. And other senior developers had to stay there, other senior QAs had to stay there. So that's how we realized that, okay, this is the hierarchy of the work. These are the different responsibilities. And then when you move forward, you realize that what are your own skills, what should be your own skills, what should be your passion. And then you kind of get into this debate where you think that, okay, what is my passion? You start to understand or you start to take a passion out of you. But I always feel that instead of passion, you should always look for skills. Passion can be anything, but you have to see that whether you have skills for that particular role or not. So, for example, when I see someone developing a cool mobile application, I always like, I of course I'm gonna like that okay, you developed it and it's now in my mobile and it's working so great. Now it's my passion. I like it. But do you have that skill to actually like be a developer in the mobile application? Do you actually like that or not? And that you know by knowing that if you enjoy the challenges or not. So what I think is it's not always passion. It's or not always what you want to do. It's always your skill. And skill comes from whether you enjoy the challenge or not. Because any work you take, it's QA, it's development, it's product management, it's let's say business analysis, director, anything. In each and every work, you are going to have some challenges. So whether you are able to enjoy those challenges, navigate through it, find the solution or not, and you enjoy that process or not, I think that is more and more important instead of your passion or what you want to do. So that's kind of the part of self development, which is also like improves your awareness around you, right? So now basically, what do you do for that, right? You know that you have some skill, you know that maybe you enjoy challenges, but it's possible that the role you are working in, it may not provide you that opportunity. I am a QA or I am a developer, but I realize that, okay, I think that my skills are somewhere in the business roles, let's say in the product management role, which was, of course, my experience. So then what do you do? You do two things. First is that you start exploring what you can control. So first thing is, let's say you know that this is the role you want to do, but are there any certifications you can do to theoretically gain the knowledge or not? Because what you have learned so far is from from the observation from your colleagues, right? But I also want to know that whether I have what it takes. Like, do I like to learn that or not in paper, in theory? So I started exploring like the certifications for that particular skill. So for product management, I started looking for PSPO certifications, CSPO certifications, look which is good for me, which is not good for me, and started reading about it, giving the exams, and also I gave BA certification, right? So what that does is that actually theoretically proves that, okay, I really like that learning as well. Like theory also, I like it. It was in my mind. Now I put it into theory, and I think I'm enjoying the theory as well. So that's a uh, good point to prove at least. Good proof of concept in your mind. And another best thing is to apply that practically. But as I said, you are in a role where you may not have that opportunity to do that. So what I did was, luckily, I was in the company which provided a prototype project for all the employees for 1 month. So in that 1 month, there are lots of topics which you can choose and which are there, but you choose your topic where you want to be part of for 1 month to do the role which you like. So I did that product owner role, product manager role for that prototype project in the company for 1 month. And I thought, let me give it a try and let me like prove not the theory, but the practical as well. So I did that project for 4 to 5 weeks. And then I realized that, okay, I think this is actually the skill or enjoy challenges are there, which I enjoy. So those two things really help me in the continuous learning and adaptation process. So those are basically my 2 points. First, you are unclear in your career. You may not know different things. You may be a bit uncertain, but that's fine. You still have yourself to develop, and for that you find your skills and you try to implement those skills by either doing some practical work or by acquiring theoretical knowledge, whichever is possible for you, right? And third is, I know you want to do everything right, but it's really important that you find like mentors around you who can guide you in right direction, because sometimes it's possible that you have good intentions for your career, but maybe you are in the different direction which takes a bit longer to reach to the goal, which may like which may have an effect on your motivation. So I try to find a good mentors in my career. So for me, the most important thing was who is my mentor or who is someone who I can talk to is my immediate manager. So wherever I go, I make sure that I keep talk to my manager. And bi-weekly once, I tell my manager that, hey, I want to set up a one-on-one. Weekly, once in bi-weekly, once in month, whatever you choose. But I am always open to talk to you. So that's why, like, I have always had this practice to talk to my immediate manager once in a week or 2 weeks. 10-15 minutes is good enough for me. So I have told this to my manager that, okay, I was PO, I was QA, then I am Android developer. Now I want to be a product manager, is what I think by looking at the roles. So they help me to guide that what can I do, what I cannot do, what is possible within the company and what not. Right. So the first thing which helped me with this is the networking opportunity. So what good managers are do is they don't just sit on to whatever you say. They would try to apply it. So they would try to find ways to help you. And if they cannot, they would point you to the people who can help you. So so my manager made me aware that here is a director of business analysis or and product management. You should talk to him. So we had a really simple chat about it, and that was the person who guided me towards the BA certification, which I presented in the previous slide, right? And this manager himself, he guided me that, okay, you are a developer, you want to become a product manager. So I think that instead of going from development to product management, choose the way of developer to a business analyst to a product manager, because that's a better way to go about it. And that made me think that, okay, that makes sense. And then he guided me towards the director of business analyst, who then gave me suggestion to apply for a business analysis certificate, which I applied for and got it as well. And what that did, in addition to that, is open me for internal job opportunities as well. Because when you are serious and when you talk with your manager, they would understand it. And they would also want that you have a better development opportunity within the company itself. Because if you don't get it, then it's possible that this colleague might look for it outside. So they help you to get the opportunity within the company, which is always the good case for you, because people know you there, they are aware about you, and they would help you to transition very well. So that's what I did, but it did not work out for me in that company, but at least I got the exposure that, okay, see, there is another team which needs business analysts or product managers. I should be on a lookout whenever I am a good fit. So I still need to continue working on myself. And the last point is performance feedback. So in this process where you are in a bit of tricky position where you are in certain role, but you want to transition to a different role, you don't want to mess with what you are doing right now, because that then loses the trust from your managers or your colleagues around you, and it's not that professional. So it's good to check your performance for what you are doing and get continuous review feedback about that current role as well. So if I'm doing Android development work and I want to transition to product management work, yes, I'll talk to my manager that, hey, I want to transition here. That's fine. He can give me guidance. That's good. I can do my personal development. That's good. But what I'm doing right now, it's my mobile application development job. for which I was hired for, that should not be impacted. So within yourself, you have to make sure that that's also going good, and you make sure that you ask for your manager that, hey, I have this aspiration, but whatever I'm doing, are you happy with that or not? Any improvement required in that work or not? Please let me know that as well. So this is a little point we should not forget about what we are doing. We make the best out of that as well, right? So I think I'm done with what three main points were. So I talked about the bonus point, right? So all these 3 points were there. You are uncertain. You don't know what to do in the beginning. You want to do self development, right? You want to do you want to find mentors. And, but the important question here is that who is the driver of my career? You know, so mentor is there. Who is the driver? Uh, well, it's not like a trick question, right? It's of course myself. It's you who has to go out there, right? So, but why that's the case, right? Why is that I have to do that? Because, well, it's hard truth, but it's true that no one will know, no one will care. So, unless you reach out to people, unless you reach out to your colleagues, unless you observe things from others, no one will know that you want to do this. Everyone has their own career to look after, right? Your colleagues are looking after their career. Your managers are looking after their career, as well as people they manage, right? So, as in Avenue Code, also in Career Week or anywhere, I have seen that we say you are the one driving your SWOT analysis, your individual development plan. It's you who should do it. It's important. People are there around you to give you the guidance, but it's you who has to always initiate it. I tell my fellows the same thing. If anything they want, it's them who should initiate it. You always find people around you to help you with that, but it's always you who should go ahead and look out for yourself, right? So that brings to the conclusion. I think I was able to manage it in within 30 minutes. That's good. So that brings us to the conclusion. So the first point was realize the uncertainty and don't hit the panic button. Even if you know or you don't know, like I did not know that I was uncertain. I was happy when I got my job initially. That I got my job, I have some money, I can spend it on whatever I want. I get to go to different city, get to experience something new, etc., etc. But even if in your career after 5 years, after 10 years, even if you are in big position, you are uncertain, you should not hit panic button is what I understood, because you always have yourself to emphasize your skills on. So identify your skills and try to emphasize that. And how you do that? I have three main points for that. Like look at, like observe people around you, ask questions that if they are, let's say, in senior position, how did they go into senior position? How long they have been working? 4 years. Oh, I just started, so it's too long for me to go. If they work for 4 years, how many, like, has that any time where they had to work overnight? It's possible they'll say yes, and you'll feel okay. I have a lot of things to do right now. I have a long way to go. So at least you will that way you will realize what your skills are, what you need to do, and what you lack, what you can improve, what are the opportunities for yourself. And third is be on a lookout for a mentor. So for me, it was my manager, my close colleague who I started, my senior Android developer who I worked with. They were my point of inspiration, and my close friends who I knew were doing really good within development industry or any industry, and also your virtual guide. Now, what is virtual guide? So right now, apart from all these three who are physically present with you, like your friends or your colleagues or your manager who are there, you can see them. you can have one-on-one talk. But virtual guide means you can go online, you'll find on LinkedIn or on YouTube a lot of people who post their experiences, who post contents of their experience, who post resources, who post to other virtual guides. From there, you'll get a lot of information. So you should be on a lookout on the internet as well that, hey, I want to, now let's say product management. So I want to do AI product management. So where can I go? So find that in YouTube, in LinkedIn, you'll find people around you who can help you outside these three mentioned mentors as well.